Hello, how is it going, everybody? Today we're going to be jumping into, let me get my Bible, into Job chapter 17. So let's get that text open up. Yes, we've been going back and forth with Job and his friends, right? And pretty much the consensus is that amongst the friends is that Job did something wrong. He had to have done something wrong, and that is why he is suffering. That is why God is punishing him. And Job is not really understanding because he doesn't think he did anything wrong. And so he is really confused. He's getting angry with God. He doesn't understand. Why is God against him? And he's angry at his friends because his friends are not being supportive. Their friends are trying to help in their own way, and that they think that there's a problem that needs to be solved. And the problem is that Job did something wrong, right? Because God couldn't have done something wrong. God is not at fault here. So who is at fault? Job has to be. Why else would God be punishing him? So therefore, that's the issue we need to fix. Once we fix that, Job repents, stops whatever he's sinning, then God will stop being angry at him, and he will be relieved of all his pain. So his friends are coming from a place of, I want to help this guy out, but they're going at it in the wrong way. They think that they're right. Job is clearly a sinner, and they're not really listening to him. Job just wants a friend to be there to listen. So that's where we were. That's pretty much what has been going on back and forth. It got to the point where, Job was literally calling out to God, wishing to die. He's really in a tough spot. So today we're jumping with chapter 17, and Job is going to be praying for relief. So let's get this started here. Let's make sure this audio is good. All right, perfect.
My spirit is broken. My days are extinguished. The grave is ready for me. Are not mockers with me? And does not my eye dwell on their provocation? Now put down a pledge for me with yourself. Who is he who will shake hands with me? For you have hidden their heart from understanding. Therefore you will not exalt them. He who speaks flattery to his friends, even the eyes of his children will fail. But he has made me a byword of the people, and I have become one in whose face men spit. My eye has also grown dim because of sorrow, and all my members are like shadows. Upright men are astonished at this, and the innocent stirs himself up against the hypocrite. Yet the righteous will hold to his way, and he who has clean hands will be stronger and stronger. But please, come back again, all of you, for I shall not find one wise man among you. My days are past, my purposes are broken off. Even the thoughts of my heart, they change the night into day. The light is near, they say, in the face of darkness. If I wait for the grave as my house,
hey, Rhonda.
If I make my bed in the darkness,
good evening,
if I say to corruption, you are my father, and to the worm, you are my mother and my sister.
Thanks for stopping by.
Where then is my hope? As for my hope, who can see it? Will they go down to the gates of Sheol? Shall we have rest together in the dust?
There we go with Sheol. We looked into that a day or so ago. Whoa. Before we get into 18, I just want to see what my Bible says here. Okay, no problem. I'll be right here when you get back. So let me read this. In another legal metaphor, Job appeals to God to act as his advocate by laying down a pledge, that is, providing bail. The use of the same metaphor in Psalms 119, verse 121. To indicate the psalmist's request for relief from his oppressors may suggest that Job was pleading for God to demonstrate confidence in his innocence. Okay, so they're probably oh my gosh, they're probably mentioning Psalms here because there are people who believe that Job is written in the time of Solomon. So, okay, so what was this exactly? The use of the same metaphor in Psalms 119, verse 121, to indicate the psalmist's request for relief from his oppressors may suggest that Job is pleading for God to demonstrate confidence in his innocence. So 17:3, let's go look at what 17:3 said. And I'm guessing for the people that believe that Job is the first book ever written, they probably view it the other way. Instead of Job being a reference to Psalms, they probably think that Psalms was a reference to Job. So 17:3. Now put down a pledge for yourself. What am I reading? So now put down a pledge for me with yourself. Who is he who will shake hands with me? I'm curious. Let's look at Psalms. What was it? 119, 121? I have done justice and righteous. Do not leave me to my oppressors. Now put down a pledge for me with yourself. Who is he who shall shake hands with me? I don't see it. I don't see the reference at all. The use of the same metaphor in Psalms 119, 121 to indicate the psalmist's requests for relief from his oppressors may suggest that Job was pleading to God to demonstrate confidence in his innocence. Now put down a pledge for me with yourself. Well, I mean, these are the same metaphor to indicate the psalmist's request for relief from his oppressors. Yeah, I don't see it. Let me keep reading. Whoa. This verse, I was looking at 12. Let me just hit play right here.
With me, and does not my establish bit this?
Okay. 12. They change the night into day. The light is near, they say, in the face of darkness. This verse might be a caricature of the friend's false assurance that if he would repent his darkness, he would soon become light. Okay, that makes sense to me. They change the night into day. The light is near, they say, in the face of darkness. That's kind of what his friends are saying. And then my Bible goes on to say Job encounters the false assurances of his friends with a facetious statement about waiting for the grave as one who longingly desires to go home to his house and his long-lost relatives. Corruption. And the worm. Corruption or the pit, which I'm assuming is talking about Sheol, 7:13. No. If I wait for the graves as my house, if I make my bed in the darkness, if I say to corruption, you are my father, and to the worm, you are my mother and my sister, where then is my hope? As for my hope, who can see it? So basically, it seems like he's saying is if he gives up, if he makes his bed in the darkness, right? If he goes down there and he just gives in, where's his hope? Which makes sense to me. So if he repents, is he thinking that if he repents, he's sort of giving in like that because he knows he hasn't done anything wrong? And if he makes his bed in his darkness, if he waits for the grave as my house, if I say to corruption, you are my father, and to the worm, you are my mother and my sister, then where is my hope? Where then is my hope? As for my hope, who can see it? Will they go down to the gates of Sheol? Shall we have rest together in the dust? And that's it, isn't it? Job counters. However, if Rhonda is saying, however, it feels no matter what his hope is, still in the Lord. You're saying like no matter what he feels, the hope is still in the Lord? Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Let me look this up actually. 17:13. I'm just curious. Job 17:13 commentary. If I wait, the grave is my. Can you see that? See that okay? Why is it not becoming any bigger? I don't know. Okay, there we go. My bad. No matter what he is going right, no matter what he is going through, his hope is still in the Lord. Yeah. Yeah. If I wait, the grave is my house. I'm akave. Is that how it is in Hebrew? If I eagerly desire and expect anything now, it is the grave, the only habitation I can promise myself, and which I am just entering. There I am going to rest in a bed where I shall not be disturbed, for which therefore I am preparing myself. In all situations and amidst all changes, we should keep the grave in view, the bed in which we are shortly to lie, and by preparation for it shall endeavor to make it easy, namely by securing peace with God, by keeping our consciences pure, by seeing Christ lying in this bed, and so turning it into a bed of spices, and by looking beyond it to the resurrection. All right, I need let's just okay. If I wait, the grave is mine house. Rather surely I look for the grave, Sheol, as my house. I expect no return of prosperity, no renewal of life in a sumptuous mansion, no recovery of the state and dignity from which I have fallen. I look only for Sheol as my future abode and resting place. There in Sheol I have made my bed in the darkness. I regard myself as already there, lying on my narrow bed in the darkness, at rest after my afflictions. Pretty much keep our minds on Jesus. Despite whatever is going on, we should always praise and keep our faith. Exactly. That's exactly what we should do. But I'm trying to figure out this verse 13 here. It says, let me take it. Okay, if I wait for the grave as my house, if I make my bed in the darkness, if I say to corruption, you are my father, and to the worm, you are my mother and my sister, where then is my hope? As for my hope, who can see it? Will they go down to the gates of Sheol? They is, I'm guessing, is the people, is who here? Shall we have, so his hope is in the gates of Sheol. He doesn't have hope. Shall we have rest together? Shall we have rest together in the dust? But these are all if statements, right? He's saying, if I wait. And this commentary was like saying, I expect no return of prosperity, no renewal of life. Well, I guess it started off as an if, and he's saying, if this happens, this will happen. So Job is not really saying this is what his state of mind is going to be. He's saying if he follows this state of mind, this is what's going to happen. See how Job reconciles himself to the grave? Let this make believers willing to die. It is but going to bed. They are weary, and it is time that they were in their beds. Why should not they go willingly when their Father calls them? Let us remember our bodies are allied to corruption, the worm and the dust, and let us seek for that lively hope which shall be fulfilled when the hope of the wicked shall be put out in the darkness, that when our bodies are in the grave, our souls may enjoy the rest reserved for the people of God. I'm not sure I'm getting that from what I'm reading. If he allowed his hardships to get the best of him, right. I'm agreeing with Rhonda here. I'm not getting what the commentary is saying out of the text here. It's seemingly more like, if I give in to this darkness, if I make my bed in this darkness, I'm giving up my hope. I won't have hope. Will they go down to the gates of Sheol to find my hope? Who can see it? You know? So I'm agreeing with Rhonda here. I don't know about that last commentary we just read. But let's continue to chapter 18.
Then Bildad the Shuhite answered,
How long till you put an end to words? Gain understanding, and afterward we will speak. Why are we counted as beasts and regarded as stupid in your sight? You who tear yourself an egg.
No. Come on, Bildad. He didn't call you anything like that. He's just saying you're not listening. You're not listening to him. You guys need to stop and just listen to what he's got to say, you know? That's all.
Sight. You who tear yourself in anger, shall the earth be forsaken for you? Or shall the rock be removed from its place? The light of the wicked indeed goes out, and the flame of his fire does not shine.
He's getting on your nerves.
The light is dark in his tent, and his lamp beside him is put out. The steps of his strength are shortened, and his own counsel casts him down. For he is cast into a net by his own feet, and he walks into a snare. The net takes him by the heel, and a snare lays hold of him. A noose is hidden for him on the ground, and a trap for him in the road. Terrors frighten him on every side, and drive him to his feet. His strength is starved, and destruction is ready at his side. It devours patches of his skin. The firstborn of death devours his limbs. He is uprooted from the shelter of his tent, and they parade him before the king of terrors. They dwell in his tent who are none of his. Brimstone is scattered on his dwelling. His roots are dried out below, and his branch withers above. The memory of him perishes from the earth, and he has no name among the renowned. He is driven from light into darkness, and chased out of the world. He has neither son nor posterity among his people, nor any remaining in his dwellings. Those in the west are astonished at his day, and those in the east are frightened. Surely such are the dwellings of the wicked, and this is the place of him who does not know God.
What are you trying to say, Bildad? Are you trying to say Job is one of these people? Come on now. Rhonda said that's how some friends turn things around. They think they're always right about other people's situations. Right, exactly. That's exactly how Job's three friends are taking all this. Remember yesterday, even after Job called them out and told them, this is what I need in this moment. I don't need you guys to try and find fault, try and pick out all the flaws that I might have had in my life and say, look, okay, this is why this is all happening to you. This is what you need to do to fix it and all this stuff. You know? He just wants to, like how Rhonda said yesterday, like that listening ear. Just to lend an ear to, just someone to lend an ear to him. But, yeah, man. Yeah, they they know everything, huh? But again, that's what I'm saying. I feel like they're coming from a good place. But because they're still, even though they're a bit condescending and they're seeming like they're know-it-alls and they know exactly the problem is, and they know exactly what Job needs to do to solve the problem, they still want to help their friend in a way, right? They still want to see him. They still want to see the suffering stop. So, I mean, they could all three go around, run off and do whatever else they want to do, but they're with their friends, so they want to help, but too aggressive, judgmental. Yeah, they're a bit too aggressive and judgmental, definitely.
Then Job answered,
What was Job
How
about to
long
say?
will you torment my soul and break me in pieces with words?
Oh,
These
man.
10 times you have reproached me. You are not ashamed that you have wronged me. And if indeed I have erred, my error remains with me. If indeed you exalt yourselves against me and plead my disgrace against me, know then that God has wronged me and has surrounded me with his net. If I cry out concerning wrong, I am not heard. If I cry aloud, there is no justice. He has fenced up my way so that I cannot pass, and he has set darkness in my paths. He has stripped me of my glory and taken the crown from my head.
I just want to read this here real quick, my Bible. 19:5. If indeed you exalt yourselves against me and plead my disgrace against me, which is what they're doing, know then that God has wronged me and has surrounded me with his net. So he's letting them know again that he thinks that God has wronged him. Let's see. Let me just clear things up with this. Job's friends have used the disgrace associated with the disease to plead the case that he is guilty of sin. With the statement, God has wronged me, Job responds to Bildad's implication in 8:3 that God does not subvert justice. He argues that Bildad's theory about God does not fit the facts. Instead, he asserts that God has wrongly entrapped him as though he were a wild animal or criminal, and describing God as surrounding him with his net. Job continues the imagery of the divine hunter initiated by Bildad. Essentially, Job feels fenced in by God when it is really Satan who has been mistreating him. Yeah. That's a real hard pill to swallow when after you have spilled your guts to those you hold dear to your heart, you are totally dismissed by them emotionally. Yeah. He just wants them to be there present emotionally for him. And they're being cold, hard, they're being cold and hard and just being logical about it, right? They're like, if you're suffering, you had to have caused it in some way. So if you get rid of the cause, the suffering is going to go. And they're just, yeah. I mean, I guess I'm being sort of sympathetic or empathetic to Job's friends because I know I can be like that sometimes. I can be like, just focus on the logic part of it and not be empathetic and emotional. So I guess I need to take that lesson.
He has fenced up my way so that I cannot pass, and he has set darkness in my paths. He has stripped me of my glory and taken the crown from my head. He breaks me down on every side, and I am gone. My hope he has uprooted like a tree. He has also kindled his wrath against me, and he counts me as one of his enemies.
Imagine feeling like God is one of your enemies. Like, then who are you? Where do you belong? If God is your enemy, which side are you on? That means he's not on the devil's side, so that means he just feels alone in the entire world. That must be horrible. Good point about how the devil was the one who wronged Job. However, God was being blameless. That was the devil's whole mission from the beginning. However, Job kept his faith. He still believes. He believes that God is against him, but he still believes in God. His faith in God is not wavering.
He has also kindled his wrath against me, and he counts me as one of his enemies. His troops come together and build up their road against me. They encamp all around my tent. He has removed my brothers far from me, and my acquaintances are completely estranged from me. My relatives have failed, and my close friends have forgotten me. Those who dwell in my house and my maidservants count me as a stranger. I am an alien in their sight. I call my servant, but he gives no answer. I beg him with my mouth. My breath is offensive to my wife, and I am repulsive to the children of my own body. Even young children despise me. I arise and they speak against me. All my close friends abhor me, and those whom I love have turned against me. My bone clings to my skin.
Bob, you need to start getting a bit more positive here, Job.
With the skin of my teeth.
I know it's hard.
Have pity on me. Have pity on me. Oh, you, my friend.
My friend and I have to leave a little early on tonight. Thanks for including me in your Bible study. Study with you next time. All right. See you, Rhonda. Nice having you. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.
On me, oh, you, my friends, for the hand of God has struck me. Why do you persecute me as God does, and are not satisfied with my flesh? Oh, that my words were written. Oh, that they were inscribed in a book, that they were engraved on a rock with an iron pen and lead, forever. For I know that my Redeemer lives, and he shall stand at last on the earth. And after my skin is destroyed, this I know, that in my flesh I shall see God, whom I shall see for myself, and my eyes shall behold, and not another. How my heart yearns within me. If you should say, how should we persecute him, since the root of the matter is found in me? Be afraid of the sword for yourselves, for wrath brings the punishment of the sword. That you may know there is a judgment.
Wow. So he believes God is his enemy, yet look at that. For I know that my Redeemer lives, and he shall stand at last on the earth. And after my skin is destroyed, this I know, that in my flesh I shall see God. Wow. Job believed the hand of God has struck him is ironic, since in fact God had refused Satan's request to stretch out his hand against Job. Job expresses his confidence in his living Redeemer, which in this legal context may be translated vindicator or protector of the family rights. Some interpreters believe that Job is referring to God, a view supported by the context of and possibly by the mention of God. However, the context of the book of Job, Job's longing for a mediator and his desire for someone to plead on his behalf with God may suggest that he is thinking of someone other than God. I don't think so. He's literally blatantly saying God. Here is a strong, resolute hope for a mediator between God. What is this? It's talking about 25 and 26. Yeah, no way. It's literally speaking. He's literally speaking about God. Capital R. For I know that my Redeemer lives, and he shall stand at last on the earth. And after my skin is destroyed, this I know, that in my flesh I shall see God. Yeah, he's not talking about a mediator. I don't get what my commentary in my Bible is saying. Here's a strong, resolute hope for a mediator between God and humanity. Ultimately, Job's longing for a vindicator or mediator was fulfilled in Jesus Christ. I don't see the whole mediator thing. I see him talking directly to God. Oh, that my words were written. Oh, that they were inscribed in a book, that they were engraved on a rock with an iron pen and lead forever. For I know that my Redeemer lives, and he shall stand at last on the earth. And after my skin is destroyed, this I know, that in my flesh I shall see God, whom I shall see for myself, and my eyes shall behold, and not another. How my heart yearns within me. If you should say, how shall we persecute him? Since the root of the matter is found in me, be afraid for the sword of yourselves. For wrath brings the punishment of the sword, that you may know there is judgment. Again, the redundant emphatic pronoun I in the Hebrew text indicates a strong belief and a deep conviction. This is a wonderful example of a sufferer passionately expressing his resolute faith even in the middle of a horrible situation. Job's warning to his friends to be afraid of the sword for yourselves may be his rebuttal of Eliphaz's remarks about the wicked person watching in dread for the sword. Zophar confronts Job's confident statement in 1925 with a sarcastic rebuke. Since Job supposedly knew so much about his Redeemer, surely he knew the wisdom teaching that the wicked prosper only for a short time. Oh, what am I doing? I'm jumping into chapter 20. I was like, wait, we didn't even cover Zophar's statements. But I wanted to check this. My Bible keeps saying that there's a mediator, that Job is longing for a mediator. It's saying that Job longed for a mediator in chapter 9, verse 33. So let me just go back and look at that real quick. Job 9:33. New King James Version. If only there were someone to mediate between us, someone to bring us together. Nor is there any mediator between us who may lay his hand on us both. See the translation difference? If only there was someone to mediate between us, someone to bring us together. Nor is there any mediator between us who may lay his hand on us both. Yeah, that changes things completely if you look at a different translation. For he is not a man as I am, that I may answer him, and that we should go to court together. Nor is there any mediator between us who may lay his hand on us both. Let him take his rod away from me, and do not let dread of him terrify me. Then I would speak and not fear him. But it is not so with me. So you see what I'm saying? I don't see the whole mediator thing. I don't see Job longing for a mediator. He's just making an observation that there is no mediator between us. But if you look at the NIV, I don't know, the NIV, I've heard that the NIV has verses missing. It has a lot of differences to other translations. That's something we can look into at a later date for another video.
Then Zophar the Naamathite answered,
Therefore, my anxious thoughts make me answer. because of the turmoil within me. I have heard the rebuke that reproaches me, and the spirit of my understanding causes me to answer. Do you not know this of old, since man was placed on earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite is but for a moment? Though his haughtiness mounts up to the heavens, and his head reaches to the clouds, yet he will perish forever like his own refuse. Those who have seen him will say, "Where is he?" He will fly away like a dream and not be found. Yes, he will be chased away like a vision of the night. The eye that saw him will see him no more, nor will his place behold him anymore. His children will seek the favor of the poor, and his hands will restore his wealth. His bones are full of his youthful vigor, but it will lie down with him in the dust. Though evil is sweet in his mouth, and he hides it under his tongue, though he spares it and does not forsake it, but still keeps it in his mouth, yet his food in his stomach turns sour. It becomes cobra venom within him. He
Ouch.
swallows down riches and vomits them up again. God casts them out of his belly. He will suck the poison of cobras. The viper's tongue will slay him. He will not see the streams, the rivers flowing with honey and cream. He will restore that for which he labored, and will not swallow it down.
Let me read what my Bible's got to say. This is a lot. Zophar confronts Job's confident statement in 1925 with a sarcastic rebuke. Since Job supposedly knew so much about his Redeemer, surely he knew the wisdom teaching that the wicked prosper only for a short time. So Zophar is insinuating that Job is wicked, and therefore he prospered, and then now he's suffering. The word refuse may be translated dung, a scathing comment. What? That's in 20, verse 7. Yet he will perish forever, like his own refuse. Oh, not refuse, refuse. Okay. Yeah. Though evil may be sweet to the wicked for a while, the certain consequences of behavior will bring about their downfall. In stating that the wicked person knows no quietness, Zophar implies that Job has received what he deserves. Zophar's statement that the well-being or prosperity of the wicked will not last fits Job's circumstances. Job has lost everything. In essence, Zophar is confirming Job's complaint in chapter 7, verse 7, that he will never again see good. Zophar apparently reverses Job's appeal to the earth and heavens for vindication. He argues that the heavens and the earth will bear witness not to Job's innocence, but to his iniquity. In this summary, did we get to here yet? Where were we actually? We were over here, right? Okay. Let me actually read this, because this rounds it off here. In this summary verdict, Zophar suggests that it is too late for Job to repent. God would have no clemency for such a wicked person. Dang. Zophar is no mercy.
Honey and cream. He will restore that for which he labored, and will not swallow it down. From the proceeds of business, he will get no enjoyment, for he has oppressed and forsaken the poor. He has violently seized a house which he did not build. Because he knows no quietness in his heart, he will not save anything he desires.
Job, did he violently seize the house that he didn't build? I don't think so. I think he's just talking generally because God said that Job is blameless, so he didn't do anything wrong. After hearing that, I was thinking, like, do you think Zophar, Bildad, and Eliphaz, do you think they have something against Job? That's why they're being so hard with him? Like they were jealous of him? Like he was blessed his entire life, and then finally now you're suffering. And they were jealous of him? I don't know.
Save anything he desires. Nothing is left for him to eat. Therefore his well-being will not last. In his self-sufficiency he will be in distress. Every hand of misery will come against him. When he is about to fill his stomach, God will cast on him the fury of his wrath and will rain it on him while he is eating. He will flee from the iron weapon. A bronze bow will pierce him through. It is drawn and comes out of the body. Yes, the glittering point comes out of his gall. Terrors come upon him. Total darkness is reserved for his treasures. An unfanned fire will consume him. It shall go ill with him who is left in his tent. The heavens will reveal his iniquity.
These guys are really mad.
And
Like,
the
they're
earth
really
will
upset with
rise
Job.
up against him. The increase of his house will
Or
depart,
upset with the situation.
and his goods will flow away in the day of his wrath. This is the portion from God for a wicked man, the heritage appointed to him by God.
All right. What's your name? Zophar? We get it. Bildad said the same thing. Eliphaz said the same thing. Job gets it, man. He gets it. But what he's saying is that he is not wicked. He didn't do anything wrong. So maybe try and follow along down that line of thought instead of reiterating the same thing over and over and over again after Job has said, you know what? Just stop talking, okay? I get it. If you want to talk, just comfort me. Listen out. Listen to what I got to say, because I'm the one in pain over here. You want me to repent? What do I repent for? And they're just beating it into him over and over and over and over again. I mean, if they are genuinely wanting to help and they view that Job is not wanting to take the help, I mean, sometimes you got to give up, I guess. I mean, I don't know. There's a way to do it, They're not doing it right. So tomorrow, Job is going to respond, right? Zophar has been talking about the wicked, right? We got the sermon of the wicked, right? Now Job is going to respond to what Zophar has just said. And guess what? Guess what's going to happen next? Eliphaz is going to accuse Job of wickedness. So, yeah, we're going back and forth, them attacking Job, Job defending himself, them attacking Job, Job defending himself. So, not only did he lose his wealth, his children, he's losing his friends, essentially, right? Because after all this, do you think his friends are going to stick by him? I mean, maybe, right? Because after all this, if he comes out of all of this and he's normal again, he's a good person. In his friends' eyes, that means he probably repented. He's back to being a good person. So we can be friends again? Maybe. We'll find out. We'll find out as the story continues. So that's it for chapter 20. We just finished Job 17 to 20. Tomorrow, we will jump into 21 with Job's response. Hope you guys enjoyed today's reading. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow for Job chapter 21. All right. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.